So we have pretty much designed the program here, okay, and we have declared one variable of a character, pi only character, because we are going to enter a single character, right, like a or a z or a s, any a single character we will enter either in a lowercase or in uppercase, right? Then so if that is uppercase, so how we have constructed the logic here? Using the if else. If that is the, we are going to write a condition here, okay, that condition, if it is true, that means it is a uppercase alphabet. Else if that condition is false, that means the alphabet is an lowercase alphabet, right? And I had asked you to come up with the condition here. What condition we need to write in the if statement here? Has anybody worked on that?
Yes, sir. Sir, myself, Siddharth, I have done it, sir.
Yes, Siddharth, go ahead. Tell me what I need to write here. Okay, then I will explain on that particular condition. Okay, and then we will proceed with the program execution. Go ahead, Siddharth.
So ch greater than or equal to.
Greater than or equals to.
Sir, we need to write in a single commas, a, the upper commas.
Single quotes.
Single quotes, a, capital A.
Capital A, okay.
And we use the and operator, sir.
And which and?
The relational and operator, sir.
Not
double ands. Yes.
Logical and.
Logical and, sir, and then ch. Lesser than or equal to.
Lesser than or equals to.
Sir, in a single quote, z, capital Z.
Okay. Is this correct? Anything else?
Sir, and in the, if we want to specify the digit, then else
No,
if we can use.
We will talk about that later. So here only the concept is that we are entering an alphabet. Look at the statement here. Printf, enter an alphabet. So our assumption is that I'm going to enter either a lowercase alphabets or a uppercase alphabets. That's it as of now. Okay. Now the condition, let us try to understand theoretically this. Okay. Now each one of you just go on a mute. Go on a mute. Okay. Now.
So, sir, we can use the ASCII value also, no, sir? I did this, that also, sir. That came.
Okay, we will see that as well. Okay, we will see, look into that as well. First, let us try to understand with this concept. Okay, now here in the if condition, if you look into here, there are multiple operations. One, what we have here, we have the two relational operations and then one logical operations. So we know that first we need to operate upon the relational operators because they have the highest priority than the logical operators. Now here, ch, assume that, say, the ch I have entered is, say, capital D. Then what will happen? It will try to check here. Is that D greater than or equals to A? Look at here how the A is written. A is written within the single quotes. Why it is written within the single quotes? Because the A, we are going to consider it as an character, a single character, right? So it is written as A, that is ch greater than or equal to A. Now character is D. So now what is the result here? Is D greater than or equals to A? Yes, in the alphabets, if you look into the sequence, after A, D comes, but also in the ASCII values, okay, the D comes after the A itself. So that means what? The first condition, this condition is true. So the first condition is true. Then we have AND operation. In the second here, after the AND operation, here we have ch less than or equals to Z within the again single quotes. Means again I'm trying to compare this D with the Z. So is this D less than or equals to Z? Yes, it is less than or equals to Z. When we compare the ASCII values also, then also it comes, okay, D comes before the Z. That means the second operation is also true here. Okay, now look at this condition. True, no, and true. We know the characteristic of this particular logical AND. The logical AND results or gives the result as true when both of its operands are true. So in this case, both the operands are true. So the result is going to be what? True. So the whole this condition, the if condition is resulted into a true here. That means what it has to do? It has to print uppercase. It will just print uppercase and then this else will be excluded. So is that true here? When I enter a capital T, it will display what? Uppercase, right? Let us check it out by executing the program. Okay, we go to the terminal here and the program number is 14. CD stun GCC 14 alphabet. Just look for the compilation errors. There are no compilation errors. Then run the program. Now it is asking enter an alphabet. Let us enter capital D here. So when I enter capital D, the output it gave me is uppercase. That means theoretically what we have understood here is working in the same way. Now, just remember here how the condition we have written. We just need to check that character whether it belongs to between A to Z. That's it. Right? Now, what will happen if I remove this equals to sign here? Suppose if I remove this equals to sign and if I try to check it here, if character greater than A and less than Z, what will happen when I run the program with a different set of values like capital A? It displays lowercase. So the equal is not considered here because the condition what we have written, we are trying to look next to the A value, right? If we want to include the A value, then we need to write equals to. That is the use of this greater than or equals to or less than or equals to. Okay, now let us check it once again by entering a lowercase value here. Now I will enter a lowercase value, say Q. When I enter Q, it is displaying giving the output as lowercase. Isn't it? Is the program executing correctly as per the requirement? Did you follow this program?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us try to make some slight changes here and try to understand few more concepts. Okay. Now, Bhagyashree, turn off your video. Bhagyashree Remat. Okay. Now, instead of an alphabet, let me say here, enter a character. I will make character. Okay. Now, I will just run once again to show you the output. This time, enter a character. I press the digit 8. What I'm doing, I'm pressing a character 8 here. What happens? It shows as lowercase. Is that number 8, is that digit 8, is it a lowercase? No, it is not a lowercase.
No, sir.
But it is still giving the output as a lowercase. So what is the problem here? Are there any syntax errors in the programs? No, there are no syntax errors. But what type of errors we have here? We have logical errors. Logical errors means here the logic or the processing what we have written here is not up to the mark to handle the digits. So if I want to handle digits as well, then how I need to modify the program here as well. Okay, now let us go step by step here. Now, what could be the scenario? I can enter alphabets. I can enter lowercase alphabets to be precisely. I can enter uppercase alphabets. I can enter lowercase alphabets, and even I can enter the characters which are of digits, that is 0 to 9, isn't it? I can even enter digits here. So in such cases, how I can handle the program or how I need to handle the situation. Here, how many possibilities we have now? We have 3 possibilities. 3 possibilities means what? Simple, that is the if else will not work here. We have to go with else if ladder. We need to have minimum 3 branchings here, right? So how we can modify? Look for the first one. Is this if handles the uppercase? Yes, it does handle the uppercase scenario. Then we need to handle the lowercase scenario, right? We need to handle the lowercase scenario. So for handling the lowercase scenario, we need to write an else if here. We need to write an else if here. And then at the end, we just need to write the else part, and in that else part, we are going to print it to be printf digit. Printf digit. Look at the prototype, how we have modified here. If it is a uppercase, it will get handled here. If not, okay, then we are going to write a corresponding else if condition here for handling the lower cases. If it is a lower case, then definitely it will get caught over here and it will execute. If not means what? The entered character is not an uppercase and it is not a lower case, then it is should be what? A digit here, right? That means it will go into the else block here. Now, correspondingly, how can I write a if statement here in the else if block? Anyone apart from Siddharth? Anyone?
It's the same as just we have to write small a instead of capital A and small z instead of capital Z.
So what we need to write? We need to go with the same concept. Compare that ch greater than or equals to lowercase a and compare that character less than or equal to lowercase z. That's it. Okay, the condition here, look for here what we have written. Now we are trying to compare that character whether it is lying between lowercase a and up to the lowercase z. If so, that means it is a lowercase character. Otherwise, it will become a digit. Right? So let us save the program and then run it. Let me clear the screen. Let us check the output one by one. Compile the program, then run the program. First look for the capital. So capital G I will type uppercase, correct. Then go for a lowercase, that is H I have taken here, lowercase is also correct. Now look for the third one, that is the digits. So now enter the character, that is digit 8 here. Now look at the output here. The character I entered is a 8 and it is correctly handled as what? Digit. It is correctly handled as the digit. Understood this particular program, student? So we have written one block for uppercase, this for the uppercase. Then we have written this block for what purpose? For the lowercase. Okay, and then by default it will take the else part when both are false. It will take this path for digits. Understood, student? Any difficulties? Any doubts?
Sir, while using ASCII value, sir,
We will do that also. Okay, we will do
yes,
it
sir.
also. Okay. Now here let us try to add one more concept I will take, and then you can tell about the ASCII. We will do according to that. Okay. Now look at the program. I will run the program once again here. This time I will enter some special character like hash symbol. Now this is a hash symbol I'm entering, and when I enter, it says digit. Let's run once again. This time I will enter @ symbol, and it says digit. Now what do you think? Is it a correct output?
No, sir.
No, sir.
When I entered the uppercase, it was fine. When I entered the lowercase, it was also fine. When I entered the digits, then also the output was correct. But when I'm entering the special characters, that time, what is happening? It is giving the output digit. These are not the digits, right? These are the special characters. How can I handle it here, special characters? So if you just look into our program concept, how we are trying to do here, we need to have ch, which is something for the special characters. It could be anything apart from these three. Okay, let us try to assume that on the keyboard, if I press any character apart from these three sets, then I can call it to be a special character. In such cases, how can I handle the program here, or how can I modify the program? So do you think any changes in the first if? I don't think
So
so.
we have to add a condition in the else.
Else if we need to take, sir, in the
So
digit part.
Yeah, in the digit part, right? So correct, what you said is correct. So let me explain that one. So this if we no need to worry about because it is working correctly, then lowercase is also working correctly. But if we don't enter the character in uppercase or lowercase, any character if you enter, it is going into what? The default, that is else here. Whether it is digit also, it will go into the digit print. If it is a special character also, then also it prints digits. Means we need to handle the digit part here. So we need to put one more condition here and we need to check whether it is a digit or not. Then only you print it to be a digit or else print it to be a special character. Print F, print it to be a special character. Sorry, special character. Now tell me, how can I write the condition for checking the digits?
Sir, I had written this with ch is greater than or equal to 48. I had written, sir, as the ASCII
Okay.
value of 0 is 48. I had executed it, sir.
Okay, so you mean to say you have written something like ch greater than or equals to. Now, can we do something the similar way what we had done here? If you remember, I have told you every characters on the keyboard here, basically, it could be alphabets, it could be digits, it could be special characters, are treated as character data types itself, are treated as character data types itself, right? And if you just look into the for the capital letter A, we have enclosed it within capital A, single quotes. Within the single quotes, A we have written. If it is for the lowercase letters, we had done the same thing. What? Within we have written within the single quotes. Can we write, if I want to check the 0, if I want to check the whether that particular character is between 0 to 9, can I write something like this? And
Yes, sir.
ch less than or equals to 9. Look at here, 0, when I write that 0 within the single quotes, it will consider it as the character here. Right? This is something which we have studied in one of the previous classes when we were working on the program. Whenever we write a digits, single digits within the single quotes, then the digit will be considered as the character data type, and then it will compare with that particular ch. Now let us execute the program and check whether it behaves correctly or not. Run the program and see. Let us check for all the things: capital A, uppercase, lower, next time lowercase a, that is lowercase a, that is correct. Let us check for the digit. Say if I enter 7 digit, perfect. Then the last one is what? The special character. When I type @ symbol, it displays as special character. Now, the change I did was for this particular clause here, right? For the digit, I wrote a condition here in an else if that ch is greater than or equals to single quote 0. Okay, so you can write single quote 0 as well. As one of you told that instead of writing this in single quote, we can write it in the numbers, right? So what is the ASCII value of 0? Is it 48?
Sir, 48.
48. And what about 9? Is that 57?
57.
Sorry, is that 57? Yes,
Yes, sir.
48 to 10. So it is 57. This time, when I compile the program and run, let us check it out. Okay, it should work correctly. I entered 5 digit. I entered 0 digit. I entered 9, then also digit. Perfect. That means what is the learning here? When we want to compare a character, then there are two approaches. One is directly make use of the character by placing within the single quotes. Second, write the equivalent integer numbers. Write the equivalent integer numbers. Okay, now why I suggest that you want to use this single quotes, because it is very easy to remember here. Sometimes you may mess up with writing the ASCII values. You may get confused the ASCII values of different characters. So in such cases, it is absolutely fine if you write within the single quotes those particular digits or the characters. Now look at here how we have modified the if else into a nested if else, which can change the flow of execution in 4 different ways, right? This is the first possible way, this is the second possible way, third, and finally the fourth possible way. Understood, student? Is this program any difficulties, any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so far we have covered in the control statements 3 different concepts. One is simple if, sorry. Second is if else. Third is else if ladder. Okay. Now we are going to study something called as nested. Okay, so this is what we are discussing. We have studied these 3 different control statements, and the fourth one we are going to study is nested if, or sometimes we call it to be a nested if else also. Okay, nested if or nested if else. So the meaning of nested means what? One if condition within another if condition, or within one if condition if we have multiple if else conditions, then such type of a scenario we call it to be a nested if or nested if else. I will show you the syntax of that one, how it looks. So we know that if, then there will be a condition, then its corresponding statements, then there will be a else for that, then there is a corresponding statements for that, right? This is the if else that we have studied. Nested if or nested if else means inside one if there can be further if conditions like this. You can have if, one more condition, then the corresponding statements. Okay, then there can be even a else also, corresponding statements for the else part. So look at here, this if else, it placed where? It is placed within another if statement. So such type of constructs or the control statements are called as nested if or nested if else. It is not that we need to write it should have only if else. It can have only if as well. It can even, we can have right in the else part also. In the else part there can be a statement if condition, then corresponding statements for that. So this is also possible. Sorry. Right. So if you look into this particular construct, we have written on the broader outer level, we have a if condition, and within this if there is another set of if else. In the else also we have another set of if here. So if a if condition is placed within another if, or an if else is placed in another if else also, then such type of control statements are called as nested if statements. They're called as nested if statement. Then you may ask, sir, what is the reason of, or what is the advantage of having the if else, that is nested if else here? Already we have seen something called as an else if ladder, where we can have the multiple conditions validated over there. Then what is the necessity of this type of if else clauses? Certain program statements or the program solutions requires this type of constructs where we want to further go and check whether the condition is true or not. If this condition is true, then look for the other condition whether it is true or not. Okay, like in that particular way. For example, very simple example, this analogy. If T is available, then I can check whether that particular tea is a black tea or green tea. If tea is available, then further I want to check whether that tea is a black tea or a green tea, right? In that case, I can write a statement like this. If it is a tea, then only I can go for whether it is a black tea or a green tea, right? Then inside that I can have another if condition here, whether it is a black tea. If so, print it to be a black tea, else print it to be a green tea. If it is not tea at all, then probably I would be checking for a kind of a coffee here, different flavor of a coffee. Then here I can have, is that a cappuccino coffee or is it some other different flavor? Anything like that. Is it any type of analogy I can use here? So basically, this type of nested if else are required when we want to check the multiple conditions. If one condition is true, then we want to proceed further and check whether that is further true or a false values. In such cases, we can make use of nested if else. A simple example, the practical example I can give you here. Suppose there are three numbers, say A, B, and C, and we want to find the maximum of these three numbers. We want to find maximum of three numbers. In such cases, we can use the any other methods also. We can even use ladder if also, but we can make use of if else, that is nested if else here. Right? How I can do here? I can initially check if is A greater than B. If A is greater than B, right? Then it can be true, it can be false. Like this I can have. If it is true, assume if it is true, then what will be there? Then further I need to check A with the C, isn't it? If A is greater than B, if that becomes true, then what I can think of between A and B, A is maximum. But now I need to find out between this A and C, which is maximum. Then inside this if, I can write one more statement, that is if statement, and I can say, is A still greater than C? If true, then I can say that my maximum is A here. My maximum is A. Or else, if that becomes false, then definitely that maximum is what? Maximum is C here. So in this way, I can write the nested if else here. Look at the simple statement here. I want to find out which one is maximum between the three numbers. Initially, I will compare the first number with the second number. If it is true, that means A is maximum. Now I need to check that first number with the third number. So A and C I will check. If this becomes again true, that means A is greater than B as well as A is greater than C. That is the meaning of that. Means A is the maximum. Now, what if this particular condition is a false? Means A is greater than B, but A is not greater than C. That means what? Definitely C is maximum. Definitely C is maximum. Okay. Now, suppose if this condition becomes false here at the entry level, first if itself becomes false. What is the meaning of that? That means B is maximum now. Between A and B, B is maximum. Then I have to find out whether that B is greater than or is it C or not. So B greater than C. If true, then maximum will become my B value. And if this becomes false, then my maximum will become C value. So this way, if I want to calculate or if I want to find out the maximum between three numbers or a minimum between three numbers, then this if else, nested if else can be used. Okay, do one thing, take this as an assignment, home assignment, and try to come up with a program. Okay, each one of you write a program in your rough book for finding the maximum of three numbers using nested if else. Okay, I will just write the statement here. What you need to do, you need to write two programs. First one, write a program to find maximum of three numbers using nested if else. Second is write a program to find minimum of 3 numbers using else if ladder. So 2 programs are there that you need to work as a homework. Take a screenshot of this one or write it in your ref book. So you need to write these 2 programs yourself.